Hello everyone, welcome to the HCW channel. This is another UK Indie review as part of our UK Indy Spotlight. My name is DP, the Preezy it says down there. Or Dan, whatever, however you prefer to call me. That is my name. But we are going to be covering tonight, another show I attended, Progress Wrestling's Chapter 145, Wrestling Witch Face Trick or Treat, a show dedicated to the October spookiness of the Halloween season. Uh, so yeah, if you're wondering where the other hosts are, where Frozzy is, where Ray is, we were meant to record this yesterday, but due to issues with my network, we weren't able to sustain a solid call between us to actually record something. So here I am by myself, essentially recording offline because my net is still in a bad place. So, BT, yo. Uh, so, without any further ado, we get into the card. So, the first match that was meant to happen was meant to be the knockouts match between Anthony Ogogo and Malik. However, because the show was going to start at 3:30, so they changed the time to 3 p.m. because of Ogogo's mate, Adebayo Akinfenwa, former footballer. Basically, they changed it to 3 p.m. Because of this, at the start of the show, Costa and Malik come out and basically just say, you know what, we're not doing this. You know, we work on our own time, not your time. There you go. Malik will fight when Malik's ready to fight. So that's that. And we move on to the actual first match of the night, which was part of the Natural Progression Series semi-finals between Ricky Knight Jr., RKJ, and someone who we've had very recently on the HCW channel, Leon Slater. So, getting into the match itself, we've got a very much a lightning start from Leon. Where here's a drop kick, a corner tope, followed by his shooting star 450 splash. So instantly we get his signature move and his finisher. 1, 2, kick out. We all thought, or at least maybe 90% of us did anyway, we all thought RKJ was losing at that moment in that time. It was insane the reaction it got. However, we come back from the 2 count. RKJ is able to come back with a suplex, followed by multiple chops and a spinning side driver. We got a lot of back and forth between the two of them, exchanging holds and a capoeira kick from Leon to keep RKJ down. There's got a tussle in the corner, where they're both on the top turnbuckle. RKJ tries to hit a suplex from there, but Leon is not allowed it to happen. Using the balcony as balance, Leon gets onto the top rope and he jumps onto RKJ's shoulders and hits a super Hurricane Runner. But RKJ lands on his feet. So this is pretty much the Kota Ibushi and Will Ospreay spot. RKJ attempts an island driver, but Leon gets out of it and he's met by a bicycle kick for his troubles. Leon hits a Canadian Destroyer Panama Sunrise sort of move, but RKJ no-sells it. And he kicks Leon, and both men are down to a massive applause. These two are tearing the house down in the opener in the Electric Ballroom. We get an exchange of chops between the two of them. We get a suplex reversed into a pin from Leon for a 2 count. We get a multiple side kicks from Leon into RKJ, and he keeps kicking out RKJ. We get a Styles Clash from RKJ for 2.9. We also get Leon attempts another shooting star 450, which RKJ dodges, avoids, and hits a rebound lariat straight away. And then he picks him up, hits the island driver, and that puts Leon Slater away for the 3 count. Whew. Just recounting that is exhausting. This was an amazing match between the pair of them. They both went in with a goal. They both went in determined to get to the finals. Only one could, and that person was Ricky Knight Jr. But saying that, one step up from Ricky Knight, and that could have been Leon's place. it was seriously one way or the other. There was no going back on it. It was Ricky's day, not Leon's day. So it is what it is. But Ricky is going to the finals. Leon's not. So we go on to the next bit of the show. We're cut off before the next match can begin, and it's Sunshine Machine. The boys are here. TK Cooper and Chuck Mambo, they're both here. They talk briefly about what happened in Cardiff with Lacos Gym, where Kid Lacos cut off a braid of Chuck Mambo's hair. Lacos comes out. He basically just complains that Mambo is the weak link of Sunshine Machine and that TK has to constantly carry him and that his back must be hurting because of that. That prompts Kid Lacos 2 to come in from behind with that steel plate, or I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it's like a steel like slate plate, whatever it is. It comes up with that and hits TK in the back with it. But Chuck sees this, attacks him. Lacos does come down to the ring, but he opts to not get in the ring. So he lets Lacos 2 fall to Sunshine Machine. But Chuck gets on the mic and he challenges Lacos at the next chapter in a match where if Lacos wins, Chuck will shave his head bald. But if Chuck wins, he will take the mask from Lacos. And the mask will have to stay constantly off, I imagine. That's in that stipulation. So yeah, that should be an exciting little match that we come to next. In the next chapter, in the ballroom. Okay, following this, we get confirmation from the host, Simon Miller. And we are ready to go with the knockouts match between Anthony Ogogo and Malik. The rules of the match are simple. It's not pinfall, it's not submission, it's not a DQ. It's simple, just knockouts only. You can only win when your opponent is incapacitated for, I don't know, just incapacitated. So both men enter with their posses. Malik's got a group, as does Ogogo. We get some shenanigans with both groups to start things off. This match was a mess in general. A fun mess, but a mess. Malik attacks Ogogo before the bell starts. So Malik at this point, and in the first part of the match, Malik has the upper hand with corner strikes. He goes for a few, but misses one. That allows Ogogo to get on the offensive with some corner strikes of his own. Ogogo goes for a punch, but he's caught by an enziguri. We get a power slam from Ogogo. Malik applies with a drop kick. Malik is sent to the outside. Ogogo hits a tope onto Malik on the outside. Then they take the fight to the bar area. I didn't see this because I wasn't in the right area to see this, but from what I understand, there was more shenanigans with the group. Ogogo was getting teamed on, and that allowed Malik to take advantage. But by the time they come back to the ring, Malik is in control. So at this point, pretty much, he throws Ogogo into the ring post. And then they go to the ramp area where Malik hits a suplex onto Ogogo. Malik uses a chair on Ogogo. They head back to the ring. But before that, they go back to another crowd area. So they fight again among the crowd. We get both men with more fighting. They come back into the ring, and there's now a bin involved. We get a little spot where Ogogo. I'm not entirely sure what happened. It looked like Malik had bits Ogogo in the ear. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. He had his face close to Ogogo's head, so I don't know what he was doing. I think he bit him in the ear personally, but that's just me. But Ogogo comes back with a vertebraker. He's about to hit a top rope move onto Malik, but Malik is saved by Costa. That is until Ogogo hits a swanton to the outside onto Malik and his group. After this, he throws him back in the ring, and Ogogo puts the bin onto Malik, and he hits a lariat onto the bin onto Malik. We get a distraction, which allows Malik to kick Ogogo in the nuts. We get a high knee here for Malik to Ogogo. Malik now has a fire extinguisher, but he's taken down by Ogogo. Ogogo takes the extinguisher from Malik, but Costa steals it from Ogogo. He sprays Ogogo in the face with the extinguisher, but Ogogo ducks out of the way and it hits Malik in the face instead. Then Ogogo pumps up and he hits his KO punch for the win. Post match, Akinfenwa gets involved and he beats up some of the goons. But that's about it really. And then we also get Costa who challenges Akinfenwa to a match. So we're gonna get a tag match in the future, in the ballroom. So yeah, that was like I said at the start, it was a mess of a match. It was a fun match, a fun mess, you might want to call it. Um, yeah, it was what you thought it'd be. Like you have 8 men involved in a match, there's gonna be a lot of mess, and it genuinely was. Alright, so we come on to the next match of the night, the third match of the night, which is a grudge match of sorts between Alexis Falcon and Nina Samuels. Progress needs more Nina, and that's all I have to say about that. No. So the match kicks off. So Nina comes out and she's wearing like bunny ears, bunny tail, a whole bunny outfit sort of thing. Falcon wants none of that, so she removes the little headband bunny ears thing. And we start things off with a headlock from Alexis, which is reversed by Nina. We get an exchange in of a headlock and standing grappling between the two of them until Falcon does a split to avoid Nina's clothesline. Falcon takes the fight to Nina with a snapmare and a dropkick. Nina chokes Alexis and stretches her on the ropes before delivering a high velocity dropkick to a rope trapped Alexis, which looked brutal, I want to add, due to Alexis' selling. It looked really good. Tornado DDT from Alexis at this point. We get a kick to the gut, followed by a rolling net breaker. Only gets 2. We then get Alexis hitting a split low kick. At this point, Nina seems to be injured, so we're getting a lot of controversy with the ref saying like back away, she's hurt. Like I must check on her and all that. Of course, this lures Alexis in, and Nina comes back with her and takes her down. We get another strike exchange between the two of them before Nina hugs the corner and Alexis hits an enziguri. At some point, the ref back is turned due to something else. But when that happens, Nina grabs her Nina Samuels award thing that she has. Nina Samuels Excellence Award, which she then grabs and hits Alexis with it, and that gives her the 3 count. Post match, we get a little promo from Nina, who says that the fans are welcomed to the Nina show. Before she gets some flowers, Alexis is not pleased, and Alexis arranges for a literal bloodbath. The lights go out, come back on. Nina's covered in this red fluid, which is presumed to be blood, and that ends just spooky shenanigans of that match. So this is the 4th match of the night. This is the second of the natural progression series semi-finals between the Void Walker, Nico Angelo, and the greatest professional wrestler to ever walk planet Earth, Tate Mayfairs. That's not me saying it, that's his name. So Miller refuses to intro him, so he does it himself. So if you were to put into Google the best professional wrestler to ever walk planet Earth, a picture of Tate Mayfairs appears. Does all that. We get a lot of chants from the crowd aimed at Tate about him being a wanker. Anyone but Mayfairs is another chant that comes out. This serves as a distraction, and Nico takes advantage of that and throws him into a corner. Nico has the upper hand to begin with these chops. Tate is able to use his speed and prowess to avoid Nico, but he's eventually caught by a lariat. We get a series of springboard moonsaults onto Tate. We get Tate is able to avoid a tope, but he's caught by a second attempt. Tate hits a cartwheel elbow and hits a strut, as well as a Tate-a-rooney. Tate takes a little bit too long, mocking his opponent, and Nico gets a chance to strike, which he does, which sends Tate to the outside. We get a coast to coast axe handle from Tate onto Nico. Tate also delivers a spinning tombstone for a 2 count. Behind the ref's back, while he's attending to Nico, Tate grabs some brass knuckles, which he's hid in the bottom turnbuckle. He grabs those and puts them on, or that's not on, he puts them in his trunks, sorry. Then we get an inside cradle flash pin from Nico, which gets a 2 count. We get a diving splash from Nico, which for a 2 count. Tate pushes Nico onto the ref, and then hits Nico with the knuckles for the 3 count. So, Tate Mayfair's is going to the Natural Progression Series finals, where he will fight Ricky Knight Jr. Holy, what a match. Honestly. Mayfair's Knight Jr., Mayfair's Slater. Honestly, either one of those. Like, no disrespect whatsoever to Nico, but I think the fans want to see Tate get his block knocked off by someone like Ricky or someone like Leon. So that is what we're getting. We're getting Nico. We're getting Tate and Ricky in the finals of the Natural Progression Series at the Ballroom at Chapter 146. That should be exciting. So we cut into the next match. This is the match before the break. This is a tag match between FSU, Mark Andrews, and A. Dennis against CPF's Denny Black and Callum Newman. I will preface this right now and say tag matches are my weak spot with note taking, because it's constant sort of like back and forth and tags. But I'll do what I can. Danny Black and Mark Andrews start the match off. We get an exchange of arm bars. We get Callum who tags in, and that's when the action truly begins. With some kicks and some more strikes. A tags in, but he's on the receiving end of simultaneous assault from CPF. Danny tags back in, showing off his speed. Eddie gets annoyed at this point that everyone in the match is too fast. He complains that Danny Black is too fast. He complains that Callum Newman's too fast, and then he even goes to Andrews and says, "You're too fast." So Andrews grabs a lucha mask from under the ring. Don't know why it was there. It was just there. Don't ask too many questions. And Eddie puts it on, and he's now Lucha Dennis. So Eddie hits a Total Well Hurricane Runner before hitting a choke slam on Danny for 2. Eddie performs a surfboard stretch into a bow and arrow. Andrews tags in. He's then the recipient of some tag offense from CPF. Eddie tags back in. Hits a sidewinder on Callum. He does try it on Danny, but Danny reverses it into a code red for 2. We get a combination from FSU, which only gets him a 2 count. We get Eddie's Razor's Edge. I'm not sure what he calls it, but that's reversed, and Danny makes a tag. So does Eddie at the same time. We get Danny who hits a through the ropes cutter onto Eddie. Mandrews hits a suicide dive. We get Callum who hits a top rope moonsault to the outside on everyone. Callum hits a shooting star splash onto Mark. The pin's broken up by Eddie. Eddie hits a tope on Danny. And then we get the combination on the inside of the ring with the neck stop driver and a foot stomp from FSU for the 3 count. Holy crap, what a tag match. These 4 guys absolutely nailed it. This is exactly the kind of match you want before a break, and this being the 5th of 9 matches, it served the purpose and it left the crowd hot. It's just fun to see FSU back in the ballroom. It's fun to see them doing what they do best. It's fun to see Eddie Dennis and Mark Andrews having a good time. It's just fun. So after this, we had the break. During the break, I just got a few photos of people and started talking to other fans. Made some friends. You know how it goes with breaks. But we come back from break, and we would have gone into our next match, but there was another segment, and out comes Elijah. Quite interesting there. Elijah comes out. He boasts about how his recent record is pretty good. He's beaten Dan Maloney and he's beaten Tom Dawkins, former Car Noir. Um, he wants to find out what the numbers mean. And by the numbers, I mean the numbers associated with Charles Crowley, who's been missing for a little bit since losing to Mago. Um, at the last chapter, I wasn't there, but I've seen the video. I'll put the video up, maybe somewhere around here. I don't know. But basically, it's just Crowley walking around before the show at the queue and offering out bits of paper. But he's like wearing a hood, so you can't tell it is him. But yeah. He comes out. Well, let's say comes out. The lights go out, and he appears behind him like a spooky. But no, Crowley's face is covered in numbers, but he claims he's worked out what the numbers mean. He says that they are Elijah's win and loss record. He basically realizes a pattern where Elijah never loses twice the same person. So, he'll lose someone, and the next time he faces them, he'll beat them. And he just basically says that he wants to get back with Elijah and be a team again, and do what they do best. Elijah wants none of it. Elijah actually mentions that he's lost to Crowley. So maybe he should fight Crowley again to get that win back. Of course, it's not what Crowley wanted, but that is the challenge that's been set out. And in November, we may be getting that match. In fact, we are getting that match. I'll put the graphic up somewhere here. Also, before the break, during the break, we were shown a couple of matches that were announced for the next show. I can't remember off the top of my head what they were exactly, because since then they've announced 8 matches, 9 matches, something like that. I can't fully recall what it is, the matches that were announced, so I will leave that blank for now, but I'll put the images up on post-edit. We go into the next match, which is for the WXW Shotgun Championship. The champion, Maggot, who mocks Crowley, by the way, as he's made his entrance. He's wearing Crowley's feather cap, his peacock hat. Takes on man like Darius, who comes out with his 0-1-2 rap. It's so fun. Honestly, both of these guys have got great entrances. It's just so fun in 2 completely different ways. So this match starts off with a series of headlocks, followed by a pose from Maggot. We get a little bit of satire, I guess, the right word for it, where Darius calls Maggot weird in the ring. Darius then goes on the offensive. Maggot comes back with a kick and corner mounted punches. We get a mixture of 069 punches and 0121 kicks. So Maggot goes 069, and then Darius will kick with the 0121. We get a body slam from Darius to a 2 count. We get a tilt while DDT for 2 count. We get a crossbody attempted by Maggot, which is caught by Darius for a fall away slam. We also get a 450 attempt from Darius, which is missed. We get a running drop kick from Darius, followed by a lariat. We get a cyclone, or F5, from Maggot for 2. We get a last ride powerbomb from Darius for 2. We get a suicide dive from Darius, which brings Maggot back into the ring. Another 450 attempt is missed. Maggot comes back with a spear, 2 count. Top rope suplex, followed by a pin from Darius for 2. Maggot reverses that pin into his own pin and gets the 3 count. Talk about a match to get everyone on their feet. This was ridiculous as well. Like, after a break as well, this match was really good. But yeah, post match they hug it out and respect is shown between both men. Yeah, I mean, other than that, it was a really good match, really fun match, really hard hitting, fast paced match. I don't know what else I can say about it, really. But yeah, we move on to the next match. Remember when I said that 4 men is too much and too much of a mess? 8 men, sorry. We now go into 8 women. We have an 8-person tag match. Lana Austin Experience and Tonga. So that is Lana Austin, Sky Smithson, LA Taylor, and Tonga. Well, Tonga's not part of the group, but she's part of the team. Taking on Team Kanji, which is Kanji, the Progress Women's Champion, Millie McKenzie, Rio, and a recent import. When I say recent import, I think this is like a one-off for her, perhaps, unless she's brought back again. Baby Allison. Start things off, we get an all-out brawl, and as usual, people split off into their own one-on-ones. We start things off with Lana and Allison, who get in the ring first. But Allison does a little spider walk, which creeps her out, and Lana tags out. And then comes Tonga, who gets taken down by Allison's unique offense. Kanji tags in, as does Lana. Lana then tags in Sky, rather than face off with Kanji. Kanji hits some limb attacks on Sky, keeping her down. Kanji tags in Rio, who suplexes Sky. We get interference from the teammates, which gives Sky an advantage from LA and Lana. LA tags in, who weakens Rio before tagging in Lana, who wails kicks essentially onto Rio. Sky tags herself in with some and then kicks as well. LA tags back in and kicks. Tonga tags herself in, but all three women don't like that and instantly to tag her out with Sky. Sky tags in LA, who hits a powerbomb on Rio for 2. Lana tags in, but she's knocked back, so she tags in Sky, who nails Rio with a knee. Rio hits a cartwheel kick and tags in Millie. This is the first time Millie's in the match. She gets a huge pop from the crowd. Millie comes in, takes out all 4 opponents with spears and suplexes. A back elbow sends Millie to the corner, where Kanji tags back into the match. Kanji and Lana square off for the first time in this match. And eventually everyone's back in the ring. We get another like 4-on-4, 1-on-1, and 1-on-1, 1-on-1, and 1-on-1. Everyone splits off again to their own one-on-ones, and eventually Lana is alone in the ring with all 4 opponents, and that's when Lana gets absolutely wailed on. Kanji hits a corner springboard stunner. She's then hit by an air raid siren from Sky, who's hit by a suplex from Rio, who is hit by Tonga's kick, who's taken up by Allison, who's taken up by a front slam from LA. Tonga hits the I'm Prettier on Kanji, her finisher, which is an I'm Prettier. And then also hits her with a super kick to the face. However, she's not legal. Lana is. So LA comes in, sorry, grabs Tonga, holds her in the corner, while Lana pins the downed Kanji. Post-match, Tonga is beaten down on by the Lana Austin Experience. I think this said something about just the idea of multi-person matches. It's a lot of mess. Everyone's everywhere. It's hard to keep your eyes on one thing. Because there's so much going on. So it's hard for note taking. But this was a damn sight better organised than the men's match that had 8 men involved as well. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is going to lead to Lana Austin fighting Kanji again for the Pro Women's title, because Lana pinned Kanji despite not doing the work to get it, but it is what it is. But yeah, fun match, fun little 8% tag before we head into the final stretch of things with 2 title matches. Oh boy. So, everyone's favourite part about wrestling is when you have 2 bigger men who slap meat. You got big men slapping meat. We have for the Progress Atlas Championship, Big Damo, the champion, taking on Luke Jacobs, the former Progress Atlas champion. There is mention of how how Jacobs beat Damo last time, like for the title, in like less than 6 minutes. Damo taunts Jacobs beforehand with the Ethan's not here, to fight for yourself. Ethan ain't got to be here, so you do your job. You beat me, Ethan wasn't there. You won a title, Ethan wasn't there. Ethan's not who you need. You need to believe in yourself. So that was the backstory going into this match. Um, my first note here is big men slap me. So that'll give you an idea of what we're doing with this match. We get a exchange of strikes between the two of them. We get a running crossbody from Damo. Damo gets accosted by a fan, and he accosts the fan back. We get a German suplex from Luke. We get another forearm exchange between the two of them. Damo taunts Luke by saying that Ethan's not here, so he's bringing that back again. We get an exchange of chops between the two of them. We get a Damo 2-arm chokeslam followed by a senton onto Luke. We get a German suplex by Luke and 2 PKs for a 2 count. We get a body sleeper from Luke, which is his finish, which Damo gets to the ropes to break it up. Luke attempts and hits a pile driver. We then hit a big lariat for a 2, and also a power bomb for a 2. Damo suplexes Luke from the corner. Damo hits a Damo splash, which is the Vader corner splash, for a 2. He then proceeds to hit him with a second Damo splash, a third Damo splash, a fourth Damo splash, a fifth, and a sixth Damo splash consecutively. No breaks. He hits it, up the rope, hits it, up the rope, etc. And that gets the 3 count for Damo. Damo retains the Atlas Championship in what was a very hard-hitting, very exciting match as well. And that's it for those two. And now we move on to the main event, which is the match that I think everyone's looking forward to because of just the champion, who he is, the challenger, who he is, history of these two. But speaking of history, these two recently had a sit down with Progress Management, Lee McAteer to be precise, where they had a no rule or a no touching policy. So they just talked. So yeah, these two, obviously Dan Maloney and champion Spike Trivet. Trivet's title win came at the expense of Maloney, when Maloney was about to beat Damo, and then Spike came in with a bottle and then pinned. I think he pinned Damo actually, but yeah. So we come out. Matches here. Dan's very over. The fuck you spikes are ringing out around the crowd as well as on the signs that were all given. Bullet attacks Dan. So Bullet is here as well. Bullet is here with Spike. Bullet attacks Dan before the bell. Bullet then throws Dan into the ring post, which busts him open. And then at this point, Bullet is ejected by the ref. So it's 1-on-1. The bell hasn't even started yet. And yeah, Dan's already at disadvantage. Dan's already bleeding. So the bell rings. Spike toys with Dan for a bit. Dan gets some small strikes back, which have no real effect on Spike. Spike continues the striking, but Dan hits a second wind and takes the fight back to Spike. We get a back body drop and a missed spear from Dan, which allows Dan allows Spike to hit a corner code breaker. Spike locks Dan in an arm trap stretch. Spike says that people like Dan work with people like Spike. Dan fights back with strikes and foot stomp sentons. Dan attempts a power slam but gets hit by Spike. Bit by Spike. Dan hits an F5. Dan gets turned upside down by Spike. Spike hits a pump handle Ushigoroshi. Spike then breaks Dan's nose with the whole that. And hits a hooked arm facebuster for 2. The referee goes down, and at this point, Bullet comes back and grabs the title. Dan lows Bullet, so he drops the title. Dan grabs the title and tries to hit Spike. Spike moves out of the way, reverses, and beats down on Dan. Bullet gets a chair. They both put Dan's leg in the chair. But Doris is here for the save. 0-1-2-1 here. Doris hits a big crossbody on the Bullet. Dan then hits the driller on Spike for 2. He goes to hit the driller again. Well, not again, sorry. He goes to hit again on the ref because the ref counted to 2. But as he's doing this, the Spike low blows him. However, Dan recovers and hits another driller on Spike. But 1, 2, Bullet pulls the ref. We are all getting sick and tired of this, but it's so entertaining. Bullet pulls the ref at 2. Bullet takes out Darius and there's a chokeslam on the apron onto Darius. Darius is taken out. We get Spike and Bullet, who beat on Maloney for a bit. Spike hits a package power driver on Dan for 2. Spike then hits the second package power driver on Dan for the 3. And the crowd go absolutely berserk at the idea of Spike Gervais retaining the Progress World Championship. This was a match that was sorted. It was absolutely gold. Like, I am not a huge fan of interference in matches, but when it works out the way that this did, it is so good. When you got someone like Spike in the position that he's in, you're guaranteed a fantastic main event, no matter who it's against. And that's not even because of his ability as a wrestler. That's because of his ability to be the way he is, his character. It's amazing. The way he holds himself, the way he talks, the way he walks. You know, even Bullet adds to it as well. It's honestly amazing stuff. But that brings an end to the review. Match of the night for me has to be RKJ and Slater, or Trivey and Maloney. So to start or end, one of those two for me. Just do all the good stuff. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter. Links below in the description. I don't think I've missed anything out. Obviously follow me if you want. Up to you. But yeah, this is me, DP from HCW. Yeah, I'll post the pictures as well for any announced matches at the next Progress show. And yeah, that's all for me. So I will catch you guys at the next one. Peace.